is not a criticism of RCIPS, but it is certainly a challenge for them to take on the issues on our streets as a matter of urgency. Everything from persons riding their bicycle on the wrong side of the road, to the scooters being ridden recklessly, to persons driving like maniacs and going down the middle lanes of roads at full speeds. I saw with my own two eyes, this is not hearsay, and I've said this before, and this is again not criticism, but it highlights where we feel as citizens that enough isn't being done. I was on Eastern Avenue heading east, or if you want to call it south, but heading from West Bay Road towards Shedden Road. And I got to the Godfrey Nixon stoplight. So I am a ways back, close to Churchill's funeral home. And so the traffic is backed up. A truck reverses out of the mini mart there on the right-hand side of the road. Reverses out. A police car is the next car waiting at the stoplight, heading in the opposite direction, heading towards West Bay Road. This truck then sees the police car, so decides he reverses all the way down down to get in line behind me. So I'm watching like, this guy, this is crazy. So I'm waiting. We drive off. The light changes. A police car drive. I'm looking at my, driving slowly, looking at my side mirror. Drove right by him.
Yeah. Wow.
I expected to see the lights light up immediately. Immediately as this guy reversed down, probably 50, 60 meters down the street. It didn't happen.
I want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments, because I
don't even know how I got there, but that's a pet peeve.
But while we're on that, what about the use of technology? Because we can't have police officers on every corner, on every street. The use of cameras, more and more use of them. The license plates, they're all being prepared and being
absolutely
circulated and everything.
Everywhere you go, if you travel anywhere in Europe and even parts of the United States right now, you see the signs, and if you don't read the signs, you certainly get that bing on your phone from the rental car company saying that you just got a ticket. And that hits you once or twice, you cut it out, right? That is where we have to go. I think all of the plans are being put in place for that. Gantries are slowly going up. It's what is going to happen is, once, if it's an electronic ticket issue, that's one thing. But also if electronic issues are issued for unlicensed vehicle, etc., and no one follows that up, the person doesn't come, because the person driving the vehicle may have bought it 2 or 3 times from the last registered owner, who is now in the Philippines somewhere. And so they're just driving without the vehicle being licensed, because no one's going to chase. No one even knows who owns the vehicle. So we have to ensure that the RCIPS is then going to actively hunt for this vehicle and get it off the road and charge a person that's been driving it for all of the tickets that they accumulated.
Okay, Mr. Hugh, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. I know that you had to leave us at 9:30. Looking forward to having more discussions, with you as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, conversation will continue. Phone lines, as we remind you, are open. I got a WhatsApp message. Someone said they were having difficulty getting through, so I'll read what they have to say later on. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Attention, book lovers and history buffs. Get ready for an evening with one of Cayman's most celebrated storytellers. Join Caymanian cultural historian, educator, and author J.A. Roy Bodden in association with Ian Randall Publishers for the launch of 2 new books, Trouble in the Streets and The Legend of Long Celia, Woman of Blood and Bone. Meet the author in person, grab a signed copy, and dive into the heart of Caymanian history and culture through Bodden's captivating, powerful storytelling. Saturday, December 7th at the Studio Theater. The Harquil Center comes alive, starting at 6 p.m.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm going to share this WhatsApp message with you. While Mr. Hugh is no longer in the studio, so he's unable to respond to it, but I will at least want to hear what the person has written, and they pointed out that they had been trying to get through on the phone. And we do have some of our lines that are down. We're working on those, but still try our WhatsApp number 9253261 and try also 9496990. Not sure. So the person says that I want to address this directly to Mr. Hugh. I have no personal grievances against him, but he made the choice to enter the political arena, and it's time someone speaks up. Every election cycle we hear the same old rhetoric, yet nothing has changed. Caymanians remain in the same difficult position he claimed to have been addressing for 8 years. We constantly discuss the rising cost of living, but one major issue that could have been tackled is the CUC and solar energy situation. Instead of preventing a situation where CUC turns into a solar monopoly, he let it happen. He was the minister overseeing off-reg, and now as part of the opposition, it's shocking how they allowed the CUC contract to roll over without even attempting to push for a change from the sitting government. The silence from Mr. Hugh and his party is deafening. Had he truly not recognized that the contract was due, or was there a lack of foresight? The people of the Cayman Islands deserve better, and it is unacceptable that nothing was done to provide a chance to negotiate and ease the burden of living costs. I want to know why these issues, actions, or lack thereof occurred. And then he said, hopefully you can get these questions and statements to him as well. So I will certainly share that, retain that WhatsApp message, and on the next appearance on the show, pose the questions to Mr. Hugh as well. Meanwhile, let's share some information with you. As you know, the Premier and her delegation, they're over in the UK at this point in time, and I believe that there is some real severe weather out there, as well. I'm not sure whether or not whether or not it is with that in area of London as well, but certainly there is some severe weather that is taking place, out there. So we have this CIG release talks, and this was released yesterday, the 19th of November. Cayman Islands delegation led by Premier Juliana O'Connor Connolly, and you may have heard some of this on our news as well, spent the day at the House of Parliament in multiple high-level meetings with senior UK members of Parliament yesterday, Tuesday, the 19th of November. Discussions were held with representatives from the Labour, Conservative, and Liberal Democrat parties, which is demonstrative of the Cayman Islands policy of direct engagement across the UK's political spectrum. That's right. We got to play all sides. You got to keep in contact, with all sides as well. For the day's meeting, Premier was accompanied by Attorney General Honorable Samuel Bulgin, Cabinet Secretary Mr. Samuel Rose, Chief Officer for Financial Services and Commerce Dr. Dax Basdeo, and UK Representative Dr. Tasha Ebanks Garcia. Premier O'Connor Connolly first met with Emily Thornberry, MP, Labour MP, who is the new chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, and Foreign Affairs Select Committee member Edward Murillo, who's a Lib Dem member of Parliament. The Foreign Affairs Select Committee is a highly influential body providing parliamentary oversight for the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office and its work with the UK's overseas territories. And I will say this, they were instrumental, Foreign Affairs Select Committee, they were instrumental in the suspension of the Constitution of the Turks and Caicos Islands Constitution and bringing them under administration as well. So they do have, a lot of influence, a lot of clout, and Premier's certainly meeting with them and lobbying them extremely important. And we read this very quickly because we have a call and we have to go to a commercial break. Premier then met with Callum Miller, MP, who is the Liberal Democratic spokesperson for Foreign Affairs, discussing discussions including sharing background on Cayman Islands and outlining the Liberal Democrats' overall position on key issues impacting the overseas territories. The Premier's parliamentary meetings concluded with a bilateral meeting with Dame Priti Patel, Conservative Member of Parliament, who is the new Shadow Foreign Secretary. Conservative MP Wendell Morgan also joined the meeting, which covered ongoing issues including illegal migration, resilience building, post-disaster funding, education, and beneficial ownership as well. In summarizing her day of advocacy for the Cayman Islands, Premier noted, strengthening our relationship with the UK members of Parliament is one of our key goals for our time spent in London this week. We wish to develop long-standing, meaningful partnerships built on mutual respect and understanding. Cayman Islands have an excellent story to tell. I've taken the opportunity in each of my meetings to reiterate our position on many key issues, including beneficial ownership, and welcome the opportunity to speak openly and frankly with parliamentary colleagues and clarify misconceptions which are sometimes unfortunately promulgated in the public domain. We can stand proudly on a record of meeting global standards and standing up for our financial services industry. And it goes on that later in the afternoon, Premier's delegation held a meeting with the leading counsel, Sir Geoffrey Joel, from Blackstone Chambers. And of course, Sir Geoffrey Joel also assisted us with our constitution. The Premier ended her day by attending Buckingham Palace at the invitation of His Majesty King Charles as well. And you heard the leader of the opposition here comment that, we couldn't have a better person in the UK negotiating and looking out for the affairs of the Cayman Islands than the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly. We're going to take a commercial break. We have a caller on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return. Please stay tuned.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Did you know that 12.5% of Cayman residents are current smokers? In fact, this is significantly higher among men at 18% than women at 6.7%. Tobacco use, alcohol consumption, daily activity, and diet are all things which we can change that can significantly impact our health. The Ministry of Health and Wellness wants to empower you with information that can change your life. To learn more, log on to www.gov.ky/steps or follow us on Facebook. Let's step into wellness together, Cayman.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Only about 10 minutes left to go in the show. We do have a caller on hold. That caller has been extremely patient. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. More than patient.
Good morning. Good morning.
More than patient. Mm-hmm. I want to be at this radio station, but I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to leave another day.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm not going to beat it up. I want to beat up real bad, but not today.
And you know we will defend ourselves, right?
I know, but I think I prefer to beat up with doing not you.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I was listening a little bit to Mr. What's his name is they on just now, Mr.
Hugh, Mr. Hugh.
Mr. Hugh.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was speaking about the roads and what they're planning on doing,
mm-hmm.
I am looking towards that deeply, and it's well needed. Because if we do not do something with our roads, we can have innocent people going to jail for someone that didn't give a rat's about their own lives on our streets. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And it is, in the mornings are even more darker than normal because, you know.
Yeah.
But to see people that they're walking with their dog Not even a reflective vest on. Not even a light. I saw someone the other morning had a child walking 6 o'clock in the morning with a child on the highway.
Wow.
I don't know what people is thinking, O.C. O.C., you remember when you was a child coming up and you get a back toe or a finger cut and you saw that blood, you went ballistic, right? But I know I did. And many other people went crazy when they saw their own blood when there was a child coming up. Today, blood means nothing to nobody. That blood is like drinking water, look like nothing to some people when it comes to protecting other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
But what he was saying a while ago, well, I just pray that comes in the making. If not, we're going to have a camera in every corner of this island because there's too much stuff going on out here that is uncalled for. And we got too many people who have the license or don't have a license and knows nothing about driving and going across 3 lanes and don't give a rat's about the other person behind them or whatever the case may be. You know, it's crazy. But I am so disappointed Monday thinking that you was going to have a blow-up show in regard to our culture that took place Friday on Radio Cayman. Or see, a lot of people were smoking all over the weekend. Want to talk about the situation. And I just hope and pray if the day that individual has to go to need assessment or children and family center for support in eating situation, I hope that every voucher say turtle only on the menu for him. Only turtle he's allowed to eat. And I bet you we will see how quick he will leave our island because, see, let me tell you something. We don't need this. We don't need this. We open our doors to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And every boy who step off of those planes at that airport, you know what that ground says to them? Welcome to the Cayman Island. That's what our airport strip says. Welcome to the Cayman Island. We open our arms too wide, and we need to start closing our arms some because the people that are coming here disrespecting us left, right, and center. And it needs to stop.
So caller, how do you assess Minister Bryan's, Deputy Premier Bryan's response? How do you think that he handled it, bearing in mind that he's a public official and, you know, he's expected to set certain standards and you know, he expressed his indignation, you know, in terms of what was said by the caller, but I believe he may have been limited in terms of, you know, how he could react as well. And between the host and the minister, how do you assess the way that they handled it?
Well, he didn't have much time for one thing. And it came across something came across him that he wasn't expecting to come across him at that present time or any other time. He handled it okay to a degree, but and I'm not going to say because of position, because when you're in position or no position, you have to fight for your country. But he was trying to, you know, I take my hat off him to a degree, and I put the hat back on his head because then he could have. I guess he didn't want to be ignorant on the air neither, because and I know that man had told him in a position that he wanted to say more, or he could have probably, if he could have strangled him, he would have. But that stripe that he's wearing, but sometimes you got to bring them stripes down and fight for your country. You understand? And I think he did kind of well to a degree. I'm not gonna give him 100%. I'm not giving him 1,000%. I give him 99.9%. That, you know, but I think he didn't have enough time because it was at the closing of the show.
Yeah, and sometimes you say what you have to say and do what all other politicians do. You know, profoundly apologize after and say I used words that I shouldn't have used. You know, later on. That's all, because you can't. What you can't do is put the words back in your mouth. So, but you can always say that. So that's the approach most people take these days when they say something that is reprehensible or offensive. They later on apologize for it.
I didn't like what Singh said. I didn't like what Singh said, but you know, it is what it is, because let me tell you something. That just show us that we need to put our foot down more and get that fingerprint machine rolling at that airport. What government going to bring that out next year in election? I don't know. but it needs to come out, and our immigration needs some reforming, big time, big time. And I'll leave you at that because I am kind of busy right now. You take care and have a great day.
Thank you. You do the same as well, caller. Do the same as well. Thank you very much. Only about less than 3 minutes left to go in the show. Let's look and see. We talk about immigration in the Cayman Islands. So, BVI, they have made some adjustments, some amendments to their immigration law. Let's share that with you. No provisions for expat children in new immigration law. That's what the government has said. And the article speaks about the fact that the government has clarified, that's in the BVI, that the recently amended Immigration and Passport Amendment Act 2024 does not introduce new provisions for granting residence status to children born in the territory to non-belonger parents. This clarification follows earlier communication suggesting that such pathways were included. The act, which received assent from Governor Danielle Proust on the 1st of November 2024, so it has received assent from the governor. UK Foreign and Commonwealth Office has given him permission to assent to the legislation, brings significant changes to the territory's immigration law. Notably, it extends the residency requirement for belonger status applications from 10 to 20 years. So one of the things that our politicians shouldn't complain about and shouldn't worry about whether or not our legislation will be assented to if we decide to make dramatic or drastic changes in some areas, as well. We have to ensure that whatever is done, that it is in accordance with our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. And nothing is guaranteed. People are always going to challenge things, but we should not be using that as an excuse. The fact that, well, maybe the governor won't assent to the legislation. Goes on to say that additionally, the act establishes an immigration appeals board. We already have that here in the Cayman Islands, but their immigration appeals board will oversee appeals related to immigration decisions. The Board of Immigration will continue advising the Cabinet on annual immigration quotas, considering the territory's capacity and needs. So they look at the territory's capacity, they look at the needs, and that informs their annual immigration quotas. This approach aims to balance development with the protection of local interests. The amendments represent a step forward in refining BVI's immigration system. They are committed to ensuring that the progress is transparent and equitable. That was what their premier said. Government also highlighted that the amended law will come into force on a date appointed by the premier as published in the Gazette. Therefore, individuals who applied for status before this commencement date will have their applications processed under the previous legal framework. That point is very important because we keep saying that we need things to be done in the Cayman Islands, but while we ponder, while we wait, while we procrastinate, the numbers continue to increase, which means that any new legislation that comes into place, for instance, if we decide that we're going to change the requirements for permanent residence or for Caymanian status, then those applications that are already in the pipeline have to be dealt with under the old legislation. The longer we take, the more people, names and numbers are added, to that list as well. So we need to do it really, 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 really quickly. And while the leader of the opposition, and they have agreed that no contentious, those may be my words, or controversial, I think was the word, bills, will be brought between now and the dissolution of Parliament. We need to do something about our immigration laws, and we need to do them quickly. I'm not sure that we need too much public consultation when we decide that we're going to restrict certain categories of employment to Caymanians only. That won't affect those who already have work permits approved in that area. Whether or not we decide to grandfather them in so that they will continue to at least have the ability to apply for renewals right up until year 8 or year 9 is another story. But I'm not sure that we need any public consultation on some of these issues. We need it done like yesterday. Folks, I want to thank all of you who participated this morning one way or the other, calling in or by your WhatsApp messages. Don't forget to join Talk Today at 12:15. And as usual, we ask the good Lord, please, please, please bless these 3 beautiful Cayman Islands and all of those who endeavor to keep them beautiful, to keep them attractive, but first and foremost, to keep them for the people of the Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.